capital of Paris.
Fantastic. So there are a lot of politicians, lot of actors, lot of celebrities, lot
Yeah.
of people, even chefs mentioned in that. So this book is great if you want to go over.
You be criticized for that because in the eyes of many people who are liberal or whatever, and I think I would consider myself to be a fairly liberal person. Thackeray is a hate figure. They say he divided Mumbai, or Bombay as it then was. He spread hatred. He promoted violence. Now, I have no problem with any of that. I don't think I agreed with his politics. But at a personal level, he was actually a very nice fellow. It's very hard to explain this to people. But the world is not divided into black and white. It's not that every politician you don't agree with is a horrible man, and every politician you agree with is a wonderful person. I know many politicians whose politics I agreed with who were really dreadful people. Now, in the case of Thackeray, I liked him because I got to know him in '78. I was 22 at the time. He was already Bal Thackeray. He was his big deal. But he treated me with the utmost respect. He treated me like he would treat a senior editor. He paid attention to my questions. He invited me home for dinner. If I went to my car after dinner, he would walk me there. I mean, who does that? Which politician does that now? I was a 22-year-old kid. He would, as he closed the door, he would shout, Jai Maharashtra. And I found this very irritating. So I would shout, Jai Gujarat. And he took no offense. He would laugh, and because he knew I was a Gujarati. And we did this compromise in which we would say Jai Mumbai, because Mumbai is the same word in both Gujarati and Marathi. And he had that willingness to accept criticism of what he was saying. I got to know him quite well because I went often to his home, and he didn't actually have any politics that I agreed with. But it was hard not to be swayed by his charm, or the fact that at a human level, we went out to a restaurant once for dinner. He was fun to be with.
So, any, because you have met Mr. Modi when he was
Yes.
Chief Minister, and
Before he was Chief Minister, when he was just BJP General Secretary.
fantastic. Just tell something about her.
Well, I have to say in all honesty that I have not to Gujarat when he was the General Secretary of the BJP. He was a gregarious person, an open person. He would take jokes where he would come and have dinner. And I think once he worked out that I was also Gujarati, there was a certain kinship. We would laugh, we would chat. I invited to a show then called A Question of Answers, which was like a panel discussion for Star, shot in Noida. I invited him on that. I think at least once. He came over, he came to the studio. There's a clip floating around somewhere on YouTube. He joked with Jairam Ramesh, asked him to come and join the BJP. He was a very, very different person from the Mr. Modi we see now, who is a sort of Olympian figure, head and shoulders above everyone, who everybody bows before. He was a regular, normal guy.
Great. So, how would you rate freedom of media in older days and at the present days?
Freedom of the press is always been guaranteed to anyone who happens to own one. Now, one of the things that we've seen is that because of the multiplicity of social media, the fact that I can be doing this interview with you and we're not on any television channel, it's possible now for people to get through to people using the internet, using new media. And so therefore there's such a multimedia world in terms of television, in terms of blogs, in terms of digital television, that freedom of the press now is much more difficult to control. If you're just a handful of newspapers, you can control them. But when anybody can go out and tweet, anybody can go out and do a blog or a video blog, it becomes much more difficult to control. So in that sense, technology has been an advance for freedom of the press. In terms of what we call MSM, mainstream media, I don't think there's any doubt that mainstream media is now much more frightened of this government than it was of previous governments. And therefore, there is a tendency to do as much sycophancy as you can of the government for fear that something terrible will happen if you don't.
Thank you very much for your time.
No.
And if you have